Arsenal provide injury update on 11 players as Alex Lacazette returns and Martin Odegaard is cleared to play. Arsenal have provided an injury update on 11 players ahead of their Carabao Cup match against West Brom on Wednesday. French striker Alexandre Lacazette, who missed the two opening games of the Premier League season against Brentford and Chelsea, returns after recovering from COVID-19. Meanwhile, Martin Odegaard is cleared to make his debut at the Hawthorns after receiving full international clearance following his move from Spanish giants Real Madrid late last week. The club has also confirmed that one-away fullback Hector Bellerin, tight thigh, and Alex Runnison, COVID-19, have returned to full training after they both missed the 2-0 defeat at the Emirates on Sunday. Kieran Tierney, thigh cramps, and Gabriel Martinelli, lower leg cramps, who both featured in the Chelsea match, have recovered and are back training with the rest of the group. Brazilian centre-back Gabriel Magalhaes is progressing well after suffering a knee injury whilst away with Brazil at the Copa America and is also now back training with the squad. Eddie Nketiah and Thomas Partey, both right ankle, are both said to be working hard with the medical team and hope to be back in training in early September and the end of August respectively. With many good news from the team, hope Arteta will have a first win this season to make fans feel happy again and ready for the big match against Manchester City in the Premier League. Arsenal get green light over loan bid for Lyon midfielder Houssem Aouar. Arsenal have been handed encouragement in their efforts to sign Houssem Aouar as Lyon would now accept a loan deal for the midfielder, according to reports in France. The Gunners had made Aouar one of the top targets last summer but their £32 million bid was rejected by Lyon, who were demanding a €60 million (£55.5 million) fee. Lyon have been actively looking to sell Aouar during the current window and had even reduced the 23-year-old's asking price to just £25 million. However, Lyon have received no firm offers for the midfielder and with the transfer deadline closing in the French club are willing to compromise even further to ensure a deal is struck. According to Get French Football, Lyon would be prepared to let Aouar leave on loan but an obligation to buy would be included as part of the deal. Arsenal considered reigniting their interest in Aouar this summer but their priority was to secure a permanent deal for Martin Odegaard, which was finalized last week. However, Mikel Arteta is still light of options in central midfield following the departure of Joe Willock, while Lucas Torreira is also set to complete his move to Fiorentina. Meanwhile, Mohamed Elneny's future at Arsenal is also in doubt with the Egypt international left as an unused substitute by Arteta in both of the Gunners' Premier League matches this season. Marc Overmars on Arsenal's shortlist as club consider Edu replacements. Arsenal have Marc Overmars on their list of potential replacements for Edu as pressure mounts on the Gunners' technical director, according to reports. The 43-year-old left his behind-the-scenes role with Brazil's national team to return to Arsenal in 2019 as the club's first-ever technical director. However, Edu is now under increasing pressure to keep his job after a string of unsuccessful signings during his time at Arsenal. Edu approved a deal for Willian, who was handed a £220,000 a week contract after joining on a free transfer from Chelsea but was unable to make an impact in Mikel Arteta's side last season. The Gunners now face the prospect of terminating Willian's contract and paying off the 33-year-old in order to pave the way for his move to Brazilian side Corinthians. Edu also oversaw the signing of Icelandic goalkeeper runner Alex Runnison, who looks well short of being capable of challenging for a first-team place, and sold Emiliano Martinez to Aston Villa for £17 million, with the Argentine quickly establishing himself as one of the Premier League's top keepers since leaving Arsenal. Edu approved a £27 million deal for William Saliba, who is still yet to play for Arsenal and is now back in France for a third loan spell. While during the Brazilians' reign, Arsenal have spent a combined total of nearly £100 million on David Luiz, Pablo Mari, Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White. According to the Daily Express, Arsenal are now considering their options and Overmars is back on the club's radar. The former Arsenal winger is currently the director of football at Ajax. The report also claims that Ralf Rangnick and former Chelsea technical director Michael Emenalo are also on Arsenal's shortlist. What do you think about this news? Should Arsenal look up a new technical director for Edu replacement? Leave your comment below video. Atletico Madrid demand Alexandre Lacazette or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in exchange for Kieran Trippier. Arsenal's chances of signing Atletico Madrid defender Kieran Trippier hinges on whether Mikel Arteta is willing to part with either Alexandre Lacazette or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The Spaniard is keen on signing a new right-back this summer, with Hector Bellerin intent on leaving the club after a decade at the Emirates. Callum Chambers and Cedric Soares have shared right-back duties so far this term, but Arteta feels Trippier can provide the type of attacking flair down the right that Kieran Tierney shows on the opposite flank. Manchester United are keen on signing Trippier, but they've been put off by Atletico's insistence that only a triggering of a £34 million release clause in the England international's release clause will see him leave the Spanish capital. However, the Sun claim Atletico would be willing to cut a deal with Arsenal if the Gunners included either Lacazette or Aubameyang in a deal for Trippier. Lacazette has twice come close to joining Atletico in his career, and Arsenal are open to offers for the Frenchman. Arteta wants to keep Aubameyang, but he'd consider letting Lacazette leave, particularly as the striker only has a year to run on his deal in North London. Trippier hasn't started in either of Atletico's first 2 La Liga matches of the season, but Diego Simeone insists he will stay at the club. The defender has a year to run on his contract in Madrid, but the club have the option of extending that by a further 12 months. Trippier is keen on a return to England after 2 years in Spain, and he would favour a move to United over Arsenal, but the Gunners remain a possibility. Darren Bent explains what Arsenal must do to lure Antonio Conte to the Emirates. Mikel Arteta is under mounting pressure, with the Gunners losing their opening 2 games of the season. With a trip to champions Manchester City looming this weekend, they could head into the September international break without a point to their name. Reports claim the Spaniard will be given until the October international break to improve Arsenal's fortunes, but the board will make Conte their top target should they need a replacement. While he sees Conte as an ideal appointment, Bent is unsure whether he would be the right fit for the current Arsenal regime, suggesting they would have to totally change up the project to get him in. He is not really about projects. He usually stays about 2 years, then he ends up falling out with someone and leaving, Bent told TalkSport. But he's usually very successful in those 2 years. Arsenal would have to totally change up the project in terms of giving him complete power, because that is what he wants. He wants to sign the players he wants to sign. He is all about winning right now. You look at the players he signed for Inter Milan: Ashley Young, an aging player, Victor Moses. Signings you questioned, but when you saw how they played in his team you were like, I understand that. For me, he is one of the best managers in the world. If Arsenal can get him, brilliant. But I just can't see him coming to Arsenal, especially with the state the club is in at the minute. Mikel Arteta sends defiant message to Arsenal fans ahead of West Brom and Man City games. The Arsenal boss is already under pressure to keep his job following back-to-back defeats to newly promoted Brentford and Chelsea to kick off their Premier League campaign. Arteta's car was surrounded by angry Arsenal fans as he left the Emirates after the 2-0 defeat to Chelsea, in a game where the Gunners were booed off at both half-time and full-time. But the Spaniard has praised the fans and told them to stick with the project the club is trying to build. First of all, I want to say thank you, because the atmosphere that we saw before the game, against Chelsea, when the team was getting the introduction of every member, it was so special, I had goosebumps, and I was feeling like nothing before, he told Arsenal's official website. Then I think they tried to support the team very much, and I know they are disappointed when you lose at home, there has to be some reaction, but this is a project that is going to take some time. You can see and tell from the recruitment that we've done and the really young squad that we have at the moment, and it cannot happen overnight. We all want to make it as quick as possible, and we know that the responsibility for us is to fight with the top teams in every competition, and that's not going to change, and I think we really need them, and this group of players really needs them, and the club needs them now next to us, because we need that confidence, that support and that energy. The Arsenal board are expected to give Arteta until the international break in October to change the club's fortunes on the pitch. But if nothing changes, then they would seriously consider relieving him of his duties, with former Chelsea boss Antonio Conte seen as the perfect man to replace the 39-year-old. Granit Xhaka sends message to Arsenal fans after signing new deal. Arsenal star Granit Xhaka admitted he was really proud to sign a new deal with the Gunners after contemplating a move to Roma. The Switzerland international confirmed on his Instagram page today that he had signed an extension with the Gunners, tying him to the club until 2024. Xhaka had come close to joining Roma earlier in the summer transfer window, with Jose Mourinho prioritizing a move for the former Borussia Mönchengladbach ace following his return to Italy. But Xhaka was convinced to stay at the Emirates following one-on-one talks with Mikel Arteta, and he took to Instagram today to express his happiness at extending his stay at the club. Home is where the heart is, wrote Xhaka. Really proud to extend my stay at Arsenal. Xhaka will be hoping his side can turn their early season form around this weekend when they take on champions Manchester City. The Gunners have lost both of their opening games this term and they've failed to score in both matches. Pressure is already building on Arteta, particularly after the side's £140 million outlay on the likes of Martin Odegaard, Ben White and Aaron Ramsdale.
If you like the video, like, share.